Welcome to the bustling streets of Argentum. Here, Eliot's alchemy blurs the line between life and artifice, birthing Thoren, a golem unlike any other. In Heart of Clay, we delve into their shared destiny amidst wonder and prejudice. Now, let the story begin. Eliot's workshop was a sanctuary of creativity, a confluence of magic and science. Copper pots filled with glowing concoctions bubbled on an ancient stove, and a cluttered table overflowed with parchments inscribed with archaic runes. Late into the night, the workshop hummed with the rhythm of Eliot's fervor. In the room's center, a humanoid figure lay lifeless, an amalgamation of clay and metal. It was a golem, an instrument Eliot hoped would be his masterpiece. He chanted incantations, weaving magic into the inanimate figure, his every word echoing off the stone walls. As he whispered the final phrase, the room vibrated with an intense energy, unseen but palpable. The golem's form pulsed, resonating with the rhythm of the spell. Then, quite unexpectedly, the glow of life sparked in its eyes a deep, warm amber light. Eliot staggered back, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. The golem sat up, his movements tentative, almost childlike. Eliot's fear subsided as he watched the golem. Not just a golem, a sentient being, a being with a mind of its own. Over the next few weeks, Eliot and the golem, who he named Thoren, spent their days in shared learning. Thoren absorbed knowledge like a parched desert, soaking in the rain. Their bond grew strong, two kindred spirits finding companionship in their unique existence. It was a friendship unlike any other, born from an unexpected spark of life and a young alchemist's daring dream. The day dawned bright and hopeful as Eliot and Thoren set foot in Argentum. Eliot, wearing an excited yet anxious expression, was accompanied by Thoren, whose amber eyes sparkled with curiosity. Thoren's steps were cautious, each footfall a testament to the remarkable existence that Eliot had brought into the world. The towering stone buildings of Argentum loomed large, their sharp edges casting long, daunting shadows. Sounds of daily hustle filled the air, a symphony of life that was at once welcoming and overwhelming. Eliot felt Thoren's hand tighten around his arm, the golem's unspoken apprehension palpable. As they walked deeper into the city, the chatter faded, replaced by a stunned silence. Eyes widened in surprise and mouths fell open in disbelief as the city dwellers took in the sight of the sentient golem. Mothers pulled their children closer. Traders paused mid-haggle. Guards eyed them with suspicion. "Freak!" Someone shouted from the crowd, a word that hung heavy in the air, echoing around them. The warmth of the morning sun gave way to a chilling sense of rejection. Fear was painted on the faces of the people. Fear of the unknown, of a golem that moved and spoke like a man. With every passing moment, Eliot's hope of acceptance diminished. He glanced at Thoren, whose face was a mask of stoicism, but his eyes reflected a deep sadness. They returned to their home on the city's outskirts, their steps heavier than when they had left. Yet, in the face of this harsh rejection, their bond grew stronger, a beacon of friendship in a world too scared to understand. The council chamber of Argentum was an imposing edifice, a bastion of power and authority. As news of Thoren's existence reached the council, Eliot was summoned. He stood before the assembly, his heart pounding with a mix of apprehension and determination. The council was a collection of stern faces, their expressions inscrutable behind a veil of authority. Thoren's sentience had unsettled them, a challenge to their long-standing beliefs about the nature of golems and magic. The creature is an abomination, one counselor argued. His words were laced with fear, his gaze darting towards Eliot with evident suspicion. Another counselor spoke, her voice resolute. "We cannot risk our city's safety based on your experiment. This entity must be deactivated." Their decision felt like a thunderbolt, a crushing blow to Eliot's hope for acceptance. Yet as he looked at them, he felt a surge of defiance. These people were afraid, blinded by their fear of the unknown. But he knew Thoren. He knew his capacity for empathy and wisdom. Eliot found his voice, his words ringing through the chamber. Thoren is no threat. He is sentient, yes, but that makes him no less deserving of life than any of us. Silence fell on the chamber, but Eliot's words seemed to do little to sway the council. He left with the heavy weight of their decree, but within him burned a newfound determination. He would fight for Thoren, for his right to exist, no matter the odds. The city of Argentum buzzed with life, its streets filled with the chatter of traders, the laughter of children, and the occasional barking of dogs. Amidst this familiar symphony of life, Eliot and Thoren were now anomalies. Their presence met with suspicious gazes and whispered rumors. Despite the city's hostility, they remained undeterred. They embarked on a series of goodwill actions, hoping to prove Thoren's value to the city. They started by assisting the blacksmith with his heavy workload. Thoren's strength and endurance outmatched any human, and his intelligent mind was able to devise a system that increased efficiency. The blacksmith, initially reluctant, soon found respect for Thoren's diligence and abilities. They moved on to helping a widow repair her damaged house. Despite the woman's initial fear, she softened as Thoren worked diligently, rebuilding her dilapidated home. Eliot, alongside Thoren, taught the local children about the wonders of magic and science. Their fascinated eyes and inquisitive questions, a beacon of hope amidst the prejudice. Through each action, they faced resistance, hostility, and even threats. But there were also moments of acceptance, of shared laughter and heartfelt gratitude. With each day, the city's perception of Thoren began to shift, one citizen at a time. Their journey was challenging, but every bit of progress was a testament to their resolve. In the face of adversity, they stood firm, their shared goal fueling their perseverance. Their unique friendship, their belief in each other, was the driving force behind their brave endeavor. The city square of Argentum was filled to the brim, a sea of curious faces and hushed whispers. Eliot stood by Thoren's side, his heart pounding in anticipation. This was their most daring move yet, a public demonstration to show the city who Thoren truly was. Eliot stepped forward, his voice resounding through the square. "Citizens of Argentum, we stand before you, not as threats, but as friends, as beings capable of empathy and understanding." His gaze swept over the crowd, finding familiar faces, those who had come to accept and appreciate Thoren. But the spotlight was not on Eliot. It was Thoren who stepped forward, his amber eyes brimming with warmth. The murmurs died down, replaced by a stunned silence. Thoren began to speak, his voice resonating through the square. He spoke of his desire to live amongst them, to contribute to society, to exist not as an aberration, but as a friend. He spoke with wisdom and gentleness, his every word a testament to his intelligence, his sentience. His words left the crowd in a hush, the weight of his message settling over them. Some faces bore the signs of a changing perspective, their expressions softening, their eyes shining with understanding. But others remained rigid, their prejudice too deeply ingrained to be easily shaken. The council members present amidst the crowd watched in silence. The city was left in a state of flux, its citizens grappling with their preconceptions and fears. The future was uncertain, but Eliot and Thoren stood in the city square, their spirits undaunted, for they had sown the seeds of change, and they held on to the hope of a more accepting tomorrow.